Precisely 1:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Sharifa Tahir. Headlines. Presidential Task Force with 13 members has been appointed on One Country, One Law. The Secretary to the Ministry of Agriculture assures that harmful fertilizers will not be allowed to the country. Case against Pujit and Hemasiri filed before Colombo Magistrates Court concluded. It has been emphasized that feasibility studies will be conducted based on 3 facts to achieve the power requirement of the country through renewable energy. The Ministry of Environment has taken measures to distribute sand under the Building Material Corporation from next year. News overseas, FDA officials back Pfizer jab for children over 5 in US. Local news in detail. An extraordinary gazette has been issued appointing a 13-member presidential task force to study the implementation of the concept One Country, One Law and to prepare a draft act. The task force is chaired by Venerable Galagodatte Gnanasara Thera. The Gazette states that focusing on the fact that administration of justice, its implementation and protection under the law should be fair by all as set out in the Constitution of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, and also that it is indicated under fundamental rights therein that no citizen should be discriminated against in the eye of law or meted out special treatment on ground of nationality, religion, caste or any other grounds. It states that the implementation of the concept One Country, One Law within Sri Lanka is reflected as a methodology of ensuring nationally and internationally recognized humanitarian values. The Presidential Task Force is tasked with making a study of the implementation of the concept One Country, One Law within Sri Lanka and prepare a draft act for the said purpose, and also to study the draft acts and amendments that have already been prepared by the Ministry of Justice in relation to this subject and their appropriateness, and if there are suitable amendments to submit proposal for the purpose and include them in such relevant draft as is deemed appropriate. Senior Assistant Secretary to the President, Ms. Jivanti Senanaika, has been appointed as a Secretary of the said task force. Minister of Agriculture Mahindananda Alutkamage says that the present government has implemented a program to direct farmers for organic fertilizer usage by completely removing from the use of chemical fertilizer. He also stated that the government has taken the responsibility to implement the decision taken by the President in view of the country's future generation. He made these remarks participating at the Dasadasin Hatata program of the SLBC today. Meanwhile, Secretary to the Ministry of Agriculture, Professor Uditi Jayasinghe, says that the fertilizer which harms the country will not be allowed to the country. Director General of the Department of Agriculture has made a clear statement about the fertilizer ship that has arrived at the port. He also emphasized that any information has not been given to the port's authority to unload these fertilizers. The case against former Defence Secretary Hemasiri Fernando and former IGP Pujit Jayasundara filed with the Colombo Magistrates Court on charges of criminal negligence of duty by failing to prevent the Easter Sunday terror attacks despite receiving intelligence information in advance have been concluded. It was taken up before Colombo Acting Magistrate Sanjay Gamage today. During the judicial proceedings, the Criminal Investigation Department informed that the court that another lawsuit against the 2 defendants is currently being heard before a special trial by the Colombo High Court. Accordingly, the investigation officers sought the conclusion of the lawsuit filed with the Magistrates Court. Accepting the request, the acting magistrate ordered to end the relevant proceedings against the former Defence Secretary and the former IGP. They have been charged in 2 separate trials at bar for the offences of murder, attempted murder for their serious lapses and grave omissions to prevent the Easter Sunday bombings. A 3-judge bench of the High Court has summoned former Director of the State Intelligence Service, Nilantha Jayawardena, to appear in court on the 22nd of November to give evidence in the case against former IGP Pujit Jayasundara and former Defence Secretary Hemasiri Fernando, who have been charged for failing to prevent the Easter Sunday attack in April 2019. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation giving you the news. We continue with more stories here at home. Secretary to the Ministry of Power and Energy, Vasantha Pereira, says that feasibility studies will be conducted based on 3 facts to achieve the power requirement of the country, giving priority to strengthen the government's renewable energy sector. Several international organizations, including the UN organization and many countries, have been educated in this regard. The target is to fulfill the power requirement by 70% from the renewable power supply by the year 2030. She said that several measures have been taken in this regard. She made these remarks at a discussion held with the Secretary of the Media Ministry and the heads of journalists through Zoom technology this morning. Sabaragamu's senior DIG Ranmal Kodituaku, who was involved in an assault on a suspect, has been transferred. The announcement was made by the Inspector General of Police, E.D. Vikramaratne, in a communique directed to senior police officers yesterday. Accordingly, SDIG Kodituaku has been transferred as the senior DIG of the Medical Services and Welfare Division. A video clip widely circulated on social media showed a police officer assaulting a civilian. A statement issued by the police headquarters stated that an investigation was initiated into the incident. That's on local news for the moment.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The Ministry of Environment has taken measures to distribute sand island-wide under the Building Material Corporation from next year. The ministry has also stated that the objective of this move is to stop the purchasing and exploitation of sand by intermediaries. This decision has been taken by the Minister Mahinda Amaravira at a discussion held at the ministry with the owners of sandport and tipper trucks.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watch Light.
The residents in Guru Godal Rendavat Road and Divitura Negatota roads have been obstructed by the transportation activities due to soil erosion. It has also been reported that the commuters and the school children are facing many difficulties due to this reason. This is for the attention of the chairman of Road Development Authority.
World News.
World News headlines: FDA officials back Pfizer jab for children over 5 in US. Sudan's military says it seized power to prevent civil war. Aung San Suu Kyi denies incitement in first court testimony. World News in detail now. A U.S. government panel has voted to recommend the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine should be given to children aged 5 to 11. The Food and Drug Administration experts backed the move yesterday, paving the way for emergency authorization within a matter of weeks. In September, the company said its trial data showed the COVID jab was safe for children in that age group. The U.S. is already giving the vaccine to those aged 12 and over. This latest decision affects some 28 million U.S. children. Sudan's armed forces chief has defended the military's seizure of power, saying he has dissolved the government to avoid civil war, while protesters took to the streets to demonstrate against the takeover after a day of deadly clashes. Speaking at his first news conference since announcing the takeover, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan said yesterday that the army had no choice but to sideline politicians who were inciting against the armed forces. The military takeover on Monday brought a halt to Sudan's transition to democracy 2 years after a popular uprising toppled long-term leader Omar al-Bashir. Finally, on world news, Aung San Suu Kyi, the popularly elected leader of Myanmar, who was removed by the military in a February 1st coup, has denied a charge of incitement to cause public alarm in her first testimony before a court since her arrest. The generals whose coup plunged Myanmar into turmoil have brought numerous charges against the 76-year-old, and she could face years in prison if found guilty. Yesterday, she denied a charge of incitement relating to two statements that her party published in February that condemned the military regime and called on international organizations not to work with them, Myanmar Now news agency reported. And that's on World News.
And now in development news.
State Minister Nimal Lanza says that the road from Dalupota Junction to Thopua Bridge will be developed under 4 lanes in order to provide solutions to minimize traffic congestion at the Negambu Kochikade town. He made these remarks at a discussion held at the ministry regarding the road development program.
Sports news.
And on sports news, another 2 matches of T20 World Cup Championship tournament will be held today. England team and Bangladesh team are to be competing at the matches today in Dubai. The match will begin at 3:30 p.m. local time. The match between Namibia and Scotland will be played at 7:30 p.m. tonight in Abu Dhabi. The match between Sri Lanka and Australia will be played tomorrow in Dubai at 7:30 p.m. SLBC is acting as the official radio of the T20 World Championship Cricket Tournament. Arrangements have been made to broadcast information of the match through National Cricket Channel. Cricket fans can also listen through Facebook page of the Vision FM. That's on sports news.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency through NSB U Trust for 6 months consecutively. Send more money and increase the chances of winning.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
And on business news, Colombo Commercial Fertilizers Limited entered into an MOU with Polish venture capital firm Regina Purpurea Fundis to establish preliminary parameters to form a joint venture to build 5 organic fertilizer manufacturing plants in Sri Lanka on a BOT model for 20 years. The total investment would be 12.8 billion rupees. Polish entrepreneur, founder and president of the board of Regina Purpurea Fundis, Hubert Drabik, said that they will initially do R&D for suitable models for organic fertilizer in 3 months and then commence building the 5 factories. That's on business news.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners.
And on economic news, Plantation Industries Minister Dr. Ramesh Patirana said that the export income generated from plantation crops will exceed $5 billion next year. Minister Dr. Ramesh Patirana said that the government is aiming at promoting coconut cultivation and coconut-related industries for domestic and international demands. He said that the country will generate more income by exporting coconut and coconut-related products to other countries. Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, brings Nanasa app, a trilingual educational mobile app for online learning. With video-based lessons from grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with the Nanasa app. No subscription fees. Download via Google Play Store, App Store, Huawei Store or Windows. Dialogue, the future today.
And on the weather update, the Met Department says that low-level atmospheric disturbance in the vicinity of Sri Lanka is affecting the weather over the country during the next few days. Showers or thundershowers will occur at most parts of the island, particularly during the evening or night. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in the western, southern, Sabaragamuwa and central provinces. Showers may occur in the western and southern coastal areas during the morning too. Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, brings Nanasa app, a trilingual educational mobile app for online learning. With video-based lessons from grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with the Nanasa app. No subscription fees. Download via Google Play Store, App Store, Huawei Store or Windows. Dialogue, the future today.
Back to the headlines. Presidential task force with 13 members has been appointed on One Country, One Law. The Secretary to the Ministry of Agriculture assures that harmful fertilizers will not be allowed to the country. Case against Pujit and Hemasuri filed before Colombo Magistrates Court concluded. It has been emphasized that the feasibility studies will be conducted based on 3 facts to achieve the power requirement of the country through renewable energy. The Ministry of the Environment has taken measures to distribute sand under the Building Material Corporation from next year. News overseas, FDA officials back Pfizer jab for children over 5 in the US. And with that, we conclude the afternoon bulletin of news.